Welcome back to another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast with me, your host, Derek Van Otten, DVO, and I'm glad you're back with me today. Thanks for tuning in. Now, on this episode, I actually had a topic in mind. I was going to talk about networking, the importance of networking, and I was going to include a lot in that episode. And I just started thinking maybe it might be too much. It might be a lot. So recently, I was invited to be on a Zoom call about collaborating. And then that made sense. Oh, great. I can take that episode I was thinking about and split it into two different episodes so it's just not too much to consume at once. So here we go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about networking. And on the next episode, I'm going to talk about collaborating. Okay? So, networking. Who are you networking with? What is networking? I don't know if you've heard this. I believe it. I believe it to be true. But it's not necessarily what you know, but who you know. Have you heard of this before? If you have, this is what I'm talking about on this episode. I believe it to be true. It's not necessarily what you know, but sometimes it's who you know. Who do you want to know? You want to know everybody, okay? First of all, remember, you are in business for yourself. You are self-employed. You need to make sure that everyone is aware of that. And you want to be networking with people. Who do you want to network? In my opinion, everybody. You need to work with everybody because you don't know who they know. Does that make sense? So I think it's important to talk to everybody, let everyone know what it is that you do. Let them all know you're a signing agent, you're a mobile notary, you're looking to work with mortgage officers, escrow officers, attorneys. These are the people you want to work with. And let people know about that. But you should also be networking. You should be going to networking events. There's a lot of networking events in your area. There's going to be networking events that real estate agents go to, that loan officers go to, and escrow officers. There's a lot of real estate meetups and networking events that you should be a part of, that you should be joining. And there's a lot of others that are just great places to meet with people. So, why is it important to network? I've been telling my oldest daughter and my niece, they just finished graduating. I was telling them how important it is that in their circles, in their circles, it's so important to just be friends with everybody, get to know everybody, connect with them on social media. Social media is such a great place to connect with people and stay connected because I don't know about you guys, I don't talk to a ton of people that I went to high school with today. I mean, I've graduated, 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago, I graduated high school. But I've stayed in contact with some people because of social media. And I kind of am able to see what they're up to. And guess what? That means they're able to see what you've been up to. So social media is a great place to network. And I've been telling my niece and daughter, be friends with everybody. Don't think someone is a quote unquote nerd. All right? There's nothing wrong with that. Don't think of somebody as maybe they're a little unusual or different than you and your friends, because a lot of people go through phases in high school. They're still trying to discover themselves. Some people don't even discover themselves until they're in their 30s, okay? So be friends with everybody. Be nice to everybody. Connect with everybody. Now, I know I'm speaking to signing agents, and so we're beyond that, but I want to use that same example with you to stay in contact with people. Connect with people you haven't connected with in a while. Now, that's just your maybe inner circle, people you've known. But now you need to get to know other people. You need to get to know people in the industry. I mean, I try to have a good presence online. I try to connect with people. For example, when my clients post a closing and they tag some of the people that were involved, not necessarily the signers, but the people involved, I try to follow them too. I kind of look at their pages. Are they active? Are they active agents? Are they active real estate agents? Are they active mortgage officers? And if they are, I want to connect with them. Are they part of a company? I want to connect with that company. I want to like the page of that company or follow the page of their company as well. So these are just ways to network. You want to get people in your tribe. You want to get to be known in the real estate business in your area. Let people know what it is that you're doing. You want to be networking with them. You want to get to know them. You want to talk to your your clients, your clients that are escrow officers and they have an office and maybe they have different locations. Hey, who is in these other locations that could also use my service? Same with the mortgage officers. Who's the mortgage officers that you like working with? Or your friends that are mortgage officers. What title companies do you work with? What attorneys do you work with? Your real estate agent friends. What title companies do you choose? Which ones do you like working with? Get to know them. Get to pop in their offices and meet them. Let them see you face to face. This is what you want to be doing. You want to be networking and growing your circle, your real estate circle. And you want to connect with everybody because you don't know who they know. If you don't know your neighbors, you should be talking with your neighbors. If you don't know somebody in your church, get to know them. Right? Because you don't know who they know. They might have a best friend that's a mortgage officer. One of my clients, he became really good friends with a mortgage officer at his church. So my escrow officer became good friends with a mortgage officer because they went to church together. That mortgage officer does a lot of business for a local credit union, and he has all the new mortgage officers that come in. He trains them, and he encourages them to all go through the same escrow and title company. And that's my client. They basically have this whole credit union, and they have multiple branches around. And that's one of my clients. It's because he talked to somebody at church. And so, you never know who someone else might know. So that's why it's important to be networking. Network with them, talk with them, get to know them. Go to networking events. I remember when I first started out, I was going to networking events. And they would ask you for a brief summary. What's your name? What is it that you do? What's the service you provide? And what is it that you're looking for? These were the 4 things we would have to do. We'd be at a table for a few minutes, and everyone at the table, I think there would maybe be 5 or 6 people at that table, and we all had about a minute each to talk, maybe less. It might have been 30 seconds. I don't remember, but it was quick. So I say, hi, my name is Derek. I'm a mobile notary near here. I help people in the mortgage industry sign on their loan documents, their mortgage documents. I'm looking to connect with mortgage and title officers. So if you know them, please take my card and pass it along. You leave your card there, and if they seemed interested, they'd grab your card. And that was just some of the networking events that I was going to. And they stopped once COVID hit, and I'm sure they're starting back up again. I just haven't gotten into it. But networking events is a great way to meet people as well. You need to be networking to grow the people around you. Get the influence around you. And let them see your professionalism. Let them know that you are the peak signing agent of the area, the peak notary in the area. You guys want to hear a funny story? I'm at a closing, and the wife's name does not match the ID. And she got married recently. And they told their mortgage officer, hey, my name is my maiden name on my ID. I haven't changed it yet. Well, she hasn't changed her name at all yet. She's still going by her maiden name. She hasn't changed her name at all. But the mortgage officer still put her married name down on the documents, even though she really hasn't changed her name at all. And they let them know, and they said, no, it should be no problem. Yeah, it's no problem, maybe from the mortgage standpoint. That's what I told the borrowers. I said, yeah, I guess technically it's not a problem for them, but it's a problem for you at closing now because your name doesn't match your ID. And they had a marriage certificate that just showed they got married, but it was a copy of a marriage certificate. It wasn't the actual marriage certificate. So they wanted to use that. I said, I don't feel comfortable. So we had to call the mortgage officer and explain, and he was on the phone with me. He said, so you don't feel comfortable? I guess I can't make you. I said, I don't feel comfortable. I called the title company, and I told them I don't feel comfortable. Her name doesn't match. The marriage certificate is a copy of a marriage certificate. The deed of trust basically says, I am witnessing that is her on the deed of trust, and that's really not her name. That name should not be on the deed of trust if that's not really her name, in my opinion. Maybe I overstepped my boundaries, but that's where I did not feel comfortable. And I let everyone know I don't feel comfortable about it. So that mortgage officer reached out to another title company that he works with, and just said, hey, what would you do in this example? And that mortgage officer said, and then that escrow officer said, oh gosh, I don't know what I would do. Let me ask my key notary, my preferred notary, that what would he do? So she messaged me, hey, what would you do with this circumstance? And I laughed and I said, hey, funny story, I'm that notary and this is happening right now as we speak. So it's funny, right? Because I don't know who that mortgage officer knows. That mortgage officer knows two of my clients that I didn't even know. I've actually never met this mortgage officer before. And then I went to go follow him on social media just so I can build a relationship with him as well. But it's funny that it just shows you don't know who someone else might know. And so I am getting my name I want to get my name out there in my area as the king of notaries, the peak signing agent that I am. I want everyone to know. Mortgage officers, escrow officers, title officers, everyone in my area. I want them to know. And so that's what I want you to do as well. I want you to let everybody know what you're doing. Network with them. Become friends with them. Follow them on social media. Like their post. Especially if it's business related. Like it. They have a house going for sale. Share it. Share it with them. They put something, like some of my escrow offices, they are putting some really good content about tips on selling a house. I am sharing that and tagging them in it. That way, everyone everyone that follows them will see that I've tagged them. And it just helps me get out there. These are tips for you on how to network and why you should network. Because you don't know who someone else might know. You want to let not just in the industry. You don't want to network and connect with just people in the industry. You want to connect with everybody. I have a client. They're a national company. They sell like drill bits. And they always have to get documents notarized. I met somebody at a networking event that works there. They weren't looking for notaries, right? They were looking for clients. And I was at one of their tables and I said what I do. And they thought, well, we need a notary sometimes. They grabbed my card and then they call me and I go to their office and I help notarize documents whenever they have to do business out of the country. And they need passports notarized, different things notarized. I go do that for them. They call me to go do that for them. And I met them through a networking event. Again, you don't know who someone else might know. You don't know who you're going to run across. That's why you should be doing as much networking, marketing as you possibly can to get your name out there. Let everyone know. I mean, I know this episode is a little broad, but I'm just kind of getting, maybe on another episode we'll go a little deeper about it. But for right now, I'm just telling you how important it is to network and market yourself. It doesn't have to be necessarily to mortgage or title companies, but just getting the word out there that you are a mobile notary, that you are a notary public, that you are a signing agent, whatever you want to market or network yourself as, that you go and do that because it'll just help you get more business coming in. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be like James Bond, a secret agent, okay? Let everyone know. Shout from the mountaintops, from the peak tops, who you are, what is that you do, and who you're looking to connect with. And I hope that helps you get more business coming in because people know what you do and you keep crushing it. I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.